All roads lead to Rome, and last spring my road and my mom's road led to Rome as well. There are not enough words in dictionary to describe the feelings that I felt when I for the first time found myself in the heart of Rome early this morning, sensing the warmth of the sun on my skin coming above the domes of the buildings at famous Piazza Venezia on my left side and the Capitoline Hill and Vittoriano on my right side. As it was just end of April, mornings were still fresh, air was crispy, and there was no single cloud in the sky. And the wind was just strong enough to fly softly the Italian flags high up in the air, sitting on the both sides of the monument of the Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of a unified Italy. When you find yourself at Piazza Venezia, feeling so small and invisible comparing to the timeless beauty surrounding you, to get the best view of Vittoriano building, this neoclassical beauty designed by Giuseppe Sacconi, is to carefully cross the street with busy traffic circling around and come to the middle of the square, to this small island made for pedestrians. Then you pose here for a photo, or for a clip like me and my mom did, and appreciate the architectural masterpiece you have in front of you. Just imagine, Vittoriano was built in the far 18th century. And as Romans say, you can love it or loathe it, but you can't ignore Vittoriano. By the way, my friends, at the end of this vlog, I will share with you one awesome tip for Vittoriano, so stay till the end with me. Okay, so from here, we continued our walk through Via del Corso, where you can already notice many of the fashion designers' shops just waiting for you to visit them. Then, we turned right into Via delle Murate, where we finally got rid of the crazy traffic and started to notice the charm of the Rome Old Town. Some early street vendors already opened their stalls, and there was a smell of freshly brewed morning espresso and baked cannoli in the air. This tube-shaped Italian pastry coming from Sicilia. When I tried cannoli for the first time, I couldn't go a day without them. After about 200 meters walking on Via delle Murate, we found ourselves at the probably most visited place in Rome, Fontana di Trevi. My friends, this is a place where magic happens. This is a place where me and my mom took part in a long Roman legend that says, when you visit Fontana di Trevi, make a wish, and in order for your wish to come true, you must turn around facing away from the fountain and toss your coin in over your shoulder. If you throw one coin, you will return to Rome. If you throw 2 coins, you will fall in love with an attractive Italian. If you throw 3 coins, you will marry the person that you met. Can you guess how many coins did I throw? Anyway, my friends, I can tell you, it is really working. Legend is true. My wish came true, and I'm sure that your wish will come true as well. Just 600 meters away from Trevi, we arrived to the probably second most visited piazza in Rome, and that would be Piazza di Spagna, with famous Spanish steps. If you love watching fashion shows, maybe you recognize the stairs from many of the famous fashion shows like Gucci or Versace or Dolce & Gabbana, or maybe from your art school history lessons, or maybe movies.
Piazza di Spagna was already very busy when we arrived,
but somehow me and my mom managed to make a mandatory video clip by waving and recording our memories. Then we climbed 135 steps to get to the top of the square. Designed in Baroque style, Spanish steps are built in the 17th century, and since then they greeted so many visitors coming to Rome, offering a breathtaking view over the city. Once you climb to the top of them, you can visit Trinità dei Monti Church, who with its glory dominates the square. And not to forget flowers. What can I tell you about flowers except that they looked so perfect? I can just imagine how much love and care they get to look this fresh. Very short walk from Spanish Steps, we took Via del Balbuino, long street with a lot of designer shops, and then took a small street turning right called Via Libert and entered famous street Via Margutta, where you can see local artists presenting their work, paintings, drawings, graphics, as well as many art galleries. Visiting this street meant a lot to me and my mom, since my father, who was an artist as well, had a few solo exhibitions in the 60s and 70s exactly here in Via Margutta. So to me and my mom, coming here felt a bit like time travel, like planting seeds of the new memories within the roots of the old family memories. From here, we continued strolling through busy shopping street Via del Babuino, who led us to another grandiose and marvelous square called Piazza del Popolo. The name of this large urban square literally means in modern Italian language People's Square. And for centuries, it was a place for public executions, where the last one took place in 1826. Nowadays, it is a place for gathering, relaxing from the crowded shopping boulevards surrounding it, as well as for admiring fascinating architecture of these two twin churches built in the 16th century. This stunning fountain in the center of the square is called Fontana dei Leoni, Fountain of the Lions by Valadier, dominated by Egyptian-styled white marble lions from whose mouths the water flows out. Of course, I didn't forget to make an obligatory video clip with my mom. Now, my friends, it was time for some Italian cappuccino. How good it felt after so much walking around. Andiamo, amici, or let's go, my friends. Now, me and my mom are greeting you from one and only Piazza Navona. And that's the thing about Rome. Just when you think that you saw the most beautiful square, or the most stunning fountain, or the most marvelous church, or the most fascinating sculptures, you keep walking and you find yourself again surrounded by incredible work of art done by amazing Italian artists. Piazza Navona is a bit more far from Piazza del Popolo, around 1 kilometer, but the walk is worth it, trust me. Piazza Navona is famous for several art masterpieces by well-known artists such as Bernini and Borromini, which makes it one of the most important Baroque squares in the world. I spent here with my mom probably 1 hour, if not longer, just walking from one of the 3 fountains to another, trying to decide which one we liked the most. And honestly, it was a hard decision to make, but at the end, I think I was the most impressed by the middle fountain, the biggest one, called Fontana dei Fiumi, standing exactly at the entrance of the Sant'Agnese in Agone church. Of course, we had to go inside this 17th century old church and admire its dome, sculptures and frescoes. By the way, have in mind, when you're planning to visit Rome, churches are mostly closed Mondays, and during the day they are open from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and then again from 3:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. On the way to our next stop, we passed by famous Osteria da Fortunata, located in Via del Pellegrino, where we saw these wonderful Italian ladies sitting next to a window inside and making batches of pasta. It was very crowded when we passed by, so we didn't get a table, but I heard that pasta is really amazing. The atmosphere is very chilled and relaxed, and although we didn't have a chance to try the food, it was enough of an amazing experience just to see these ladies preparing pasta in front of us. And if you are interested in prices in this restaurant, one portion of pasta costs approximately 17 euros. Short walk from Osteria da Fortunata, we arrived to another square in the old town of Rome called Campo dei Fiori, well known for its market with flowers, fruits, vegetables, pasta and so much more. The market is happening here every morning from Monday till Saturday, and that since far 1869. After the sunset, the street vendors leave the square and the place gets crowded with all the restaurants and bars surrounding it. We stayed long enough in Rome to see the square also on Sunday, when there is no market, and this is how it looks without all the market buzz. And now, my friends, for the end of this first episode of the Rome Travel Vlog series that I'm gonna share with you here on my channel, we are going back to the place from the beginning of our tour, and that would be Piazza Venezia. As I promised to you at the beginning of this video, I want to share with you one awesome secret tip about Vittoriano building, and that is that you can enter this gorgeous building for free. Isn't that great, my friends? To enter the building, you cannot pre-book tickets online, but since it can get very crowded, I suggest you to come and queue the line in front of the gate early in the morning, or come later in the afternoon, when most of the tourist groups are gone. The view that you get from the balcony is magnificent. You will see famous Colosseum located nearby, and gorgeous view over Piazza Venezia. There is one more even higher terrace that you can visit with an elevator or staircase, but for that you have to purchase a ticket. Note, my friends, that the opening hours differ throughout the year. Okay, my dears, we are finishing this video with some tasty pastry from Regoli Pasticceria, century-old family-owned shop located in Via dello Statuto, selling classic cream-based pastries like cannoli that me and my mom couldn't resist not trying out. Hope you enjoyed the Rome vlog. Prepare yourself for some more Italian content coming. Thank you for being here. Grazie everyone. Ciao!